Alrighty. What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JojoSPEAKS. Thank y'all so much for joining us for this being our review for 90 Day The Hunt for Love, Season 1, Episode 11. I got my main man, Dustin, back here with me. How you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully we have a great review today. It's been a very exciting day for me. So, some things have happened today. So it's a
Ooh.
very exciting day.
Awesome. Well, I'm so
Mm-hmm.
happy for you.
Yeah.
Always great to hear good news coming from you, Dustin. I'm so happy for you. So,
Yes.
a couple
Thank
things
you
of
very
what you
much.
got to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to match that thing, you guys. So go ahead and match it for it, brother. Also, be sure to leave a
Yes.
thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the participants of 90 Day Hunt for Love. Let me know if you think of any prospective couples that may be forming or anyone who maybe doesn't deserve to be there or you don't want to see there anymore. We will definitely get into that later on in the review. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. So we start out the episode with a date. That was set up a couple of episodes ago with Tiffany and Jay. So Jay
Yes.
asked Tiffany out on a date, although Tiffany has been involved with Carlo. She's been talking about liking Rocky, but they really haven't had a date yet. They really haven't talked
Yeah.
that much, but I guess she still has him in her back pocket. But anyway, so Jay with glasses. I like seeing Jay with glasses on. He looks a
Me
lot
too.
more studious.
Hmm.
He looks a lot more mature. I'm liking that. Jay is a very,
Yes.
at least to me, he's a pretty attractive man. And so Jay's asking her, why did you ask me out on a date? And Tiffany said, well, I want to keep my options open. And she didn't say anything about being attracted to him, which I found a little bit weird. But I don't know if there's any spark between Tiffany and Jay. And I think
Mhm.
this date further showed us that there is no spark between Tiffany and Jay because, Tiffany mentioned the fact that she has two kids. Jay had no issues with that whatsoever, didn't blink an eye. And so I thought that was really good, at least for him, if he's still interested in Tiffany after this date. And so
Yes.
then Jay asked Tiffany for a kiss, and Tiffany gets all shy and all that good stuff. Now she has kissed
Mhm.
Carlo. Now I don't know if it seems like she did kiss him on their first date, if I'm not mistaken, when they were taking that mud bath. But I could be wrong about that. Maybe they didn't kiss. Who knows? But
Yes.
anyways. Jay asked Tiffany for a kiss, and she says, I'm a good girl. And, she's getting all shy and coy and, all this good stuff. I think that's somewhat cute, I guess, depending on who you ask. But, she says, just a little peck, just a little peck. And so Jay kisses her, gives her a peck. And then he starts, he wants to go in for more. And Tiffany's kind of backing off from him and he's kissing her on her neck and a little bit on her face. And it's clear that she's not enjoying him being so forward with her. And she
Yeah.
says that in the confessional. And she thinks this is an indication that she would much rather pursue Carlo
Mm.
than Jay. So, Dustin, what were your thoughts on their entire date? Do you think Jay was being a little bit too forward, or do you think Tiffany was, being a little bit too shy? What were your thoughts on their date?
I think that he was a little bit too much for him to be in the first date, asking for a kiss, trying to say that's a little bit too much for me. Uh, I don't I wouldn't be dating somebody in the first date, man, asking for kisses and stuff like that. No, that's not me. I would wait for a couple of times, but for him to be doing that on the first date is not a very attracting thing to me as well, Jonathan. I mean, that might be a different story for you, but that's not for me. I don't like that part. I think that's way too soon for my liking. Hmm.
Okay. Now, do you think that Tiffany was ever actually interested in Jay? Because watching this date, it doesn't seem like she's really attracted to him or has any
Hmm.
interest in dating him. I don't know why she agreed to date him, but do you think that she has any interest in Jay at all? Like,
I
judging from
don't.
this date that they
I
had?
I don't. I don't think she has any interest at all. With him at all. I don't feel like she does. I honestly don't feel like she does at all. No. Mm.
I don't think so either. when I was watching this date between Jay and Tiffany, I was thinking, why did she accept his invitation for a date? Because it doesn't seem like she wants to be here. She seems extreme. She was standoffish from the beginning of the date. She
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
standoffish, almost as though she didn't want to be there. So now, in my opinion, just for me, Dustin, I don't mind a kiss on the first date. I really don't. Me personally, I kissing is just one of my things. Like I adore kissing. Kissing to me is an extremely intimate type of thing, and I think because some people see that as a very serious thing, that's the reason why they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want to do it on a first date. Now, I wouldn't say that kissing on a first date is something that has to happen for me. I just wouldn't
Yeah.
turn it down. Like I wouldn't ask my date for a kiss on the first date.
Mm-hmm.
Only if they were to ask me if I wanted to
So
kiss for a date. Now I would say
I'm not.
yes,
I'm not saying.
absolutely.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it'd be kind of awkward for me.
I get that, Dustin. I really do get it. A lot of people are not comfortable with kisses on the first date, and I completely understand that. I really do
Right.
completely understand that because once again, kissing can be seen as very intimate. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when people have friends with benefits or just the one night stands, they don't like kissing their partners that they're having sexual relations with. I get that. I really do get that, but me
Yeah.
personally, if my date wants to kiss me on the first date, absolutely, hell yeah, let's do this thing. But
Yeah.
so I'm definitely not turning down Jay for a kiss whatsoever. If he had asked me for a kiss, hell yeah, let's do this
Yo, let's
thing.
do it.
We'll probably be making out for 10 minutes. But anyways, that's just me though. That's just me. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
faulting Tiffany for being uncomfortable with kissing Jay. My thing is, I just don't think that Tiffany is interested in
Mm-hmm.
Jay romantically. I don't see
Right.
her being interested in him in a
Do you think?
romantic way.
So let me ask you this, Johnson. Do you think that Tiffany's going to end up with anybody at the end of the season?
Well, I don't want to get too far into it, but it does not seem like Carlo is interested in Tiffany anymore. And I haven't seen Rocky show any interest in Tiffany, any interest in particular to Tiffany. So I don't see Tiffany leaving with any love connection at all. I really don't. Judging from
Mm-hmm.
what we've seen up until now, I don't see it happening. And it seems like I had the most expectations for Tiffany because she had the most suitors on her side. But the way that things are kind of, coming together, doesn't look like she's going to have anybody to call her man by the end of this thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what happens. So next we see Colt. Colt has finished with his surgery, the surgery on his knee that was apparently broken or injured or whatever the case might have been while he was
It was
visiting
broken.
Courtney in her
Broken, yeah.
room.
But they,
And he's FaceTiming Courtney. And
mm-hmm.
I'm truly seeing some genuine connection between Courtney and Colt. And I'm starting to feel that Courtney will more than likely choose Colt at the end of this whole session, at the end of this
Yes,
whole Hunt for Love season,
definitely
because
will. Mm-hmm.
they tend to be at least friends. They're really, really friendly with one another and really kind to one another. And I think that this incident has brought Courtney and Colt much closer together. And Colt definitely feels some type of way about Courtney. Like Colt
Mm-hmm.
definitely wants to be with Courtney for sure, for sure. And I'm starting to feel as though Courtney is starting to grow those feelings for Colt as well. And the thing is, like,
Right.
you can be in a relationship with someone who you may not be necessarily that attracted to. Now, I do believe that there has to be some type of attraction there in order for you
Mm-hmm.
to cultivate any type of relationship with another person. But although I don't think
Yeah.
Courtney is the most attracted to Colt, like I don't think that she thinks that Colt is what some people might consider a fine or beautiful man. That's not to say that Colt is not fine or beautiful, but I just don't think that she has that attraction to Colt. However, I feel as though the bond that they've created as a result of this whole thing with his knee going on, I think it's just bringing them closer together. And I find it extremely
Mm-hmm.
sweet. I love seeing Courtney and Colt on that call together. It seems like so they've been in a relationship for 5 years. That's what I was picking up
Mm-hmm.
from that. Dustin, what were you picking up from that phone call between Colt and Courtney? Are you seeing sparks flying there?
Yes, I am. I see. I've been seeing Sparks Fly from episode one so far. I think that they hit. I think they both got together, and I think I like to see her happy. I like to see Courtney happy. And I like to see everybody else happy as well. So, honestly, I think that she's going to end up together with him for the long haul, and that's just what I got to say about that one. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a little bit of a delay between us, Dustin, but I'm sure it'll be able to clear up
Okay.
momentarily.
Hmm.
But yes, I am seeing that as well. And I do feel as though Colt and Courtney will end up being together
Hmm.
at the end of the season of Hunt for Love. And once again, I think it's really sweet the relationship that they've cultivated in the midst of this, what one would consider a tragedy that happened with Colt. I feel so bad for Colt that he broke his knee. Like I would not want to see anyone have to go through that type of pain. But I'm so glad that the surgery went well. I'm so glad that he's recovering. He said that the stitches can come out in 2 weeks, and once again, they're only going to be there for another 2 weeks. So it seems like we saw it in a preview for the rest of the season that he will come back to the villa. And
Hmm.
that's when I truly expect to see Courtney and Colt really come together. And I'm a little bit nervous to see what Usman's reaction to that will be, because when he
Omar.
sees them together, I think he will be able to see the writing is on the wall that they are a true couple. And to be
Yeah.
honest, that's really the only true couple that I see right now. Of course, Rob and Jen, maybe some might consider them to be a couple. I'm not sure if I would necessarily go that far with them, between them yet. But we'll see what happens with them in the future. So then we have Carlo and Elise talking, and Carlo and Elise have apparently begun to have a bond.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I heard this correctly, so Dustin, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but did Elise say that her and Carlo had had sex? Because it sounds like she said that they
Yeah,
had
they
sex.
had sex. They had sex like one time. I think one time or twice. Hmm.
Okay, because I don't remember seeing that on the show like previously, so I'm not sure where in the timeline this actually happened. But Carlo asked
I don't think that
Elise
part was
if.
filmed though. Hmm.
Okay, what right.
No.
Okay, so it couldn't have been filmed, because if it was filmed, then
No.
they would have showed us, the viewers, that it actually happened. So apparently Carlo and Elise have a thing going on, which is great.
Hmm.
I feel a little bit torn with Carlo, with his situations between Elise and Tiffany,
Hmm.
because I do think Tiffany is genuinely here to find love, and I do think
Hmm.
Carlo, excuse me, is genuinely here to find love. But if Carlo has found something more substantial with Elise, as opposed to having it with Tiffany, and his apprehension, not apprehension, but
Hmm.
his reluctancy, to or reluctance rather, to date Tiffany, because of the fact that she does have 2 kids, I think it might be a safer choice for him to choose Elise. And they
Right.
also, discuss the fact that Carlo does need to have a conversation with Tiffany to let her know, because they decide that they are only going to pursue one another throughout the rest of this time that they have here in Mexico. So
Yeah.
Dustin, did it catch you by surprise that Elise and Carlos seem to have had something going on that we seemingly did not see in previous episodes?
Well, it kept me by surprise. The whole situation kept me by surprise. I did
Me
not
too.
expect it. I expected him to stay with Tiffany the whole season. So you've been with the person the whole entire the middle of the season. We're going on episode. This is episode 11, so we're going across the middle of it so far. And I was hoping that they would be together, him and Tiffany. You know, but whatever happens happens for a reason sometimes, Jonathan. So whatever the best for you is. But you kind of surprised me, to be honest with you, that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. To be honest, I feel as though it would be a better decision, that not that my opinion means anything to any of these participants, but I
Yeah.
feel as though that Carla would make a better decision by going with Elise, someone who is freer, someone who really doesn't have as many, to me, Tiffany seems like she has some walls up. Not to say
Right.
that she's resistant to love, but it seems like she's got a couple of barriers and a little bit of baggage.
Well, she has been
And
divorced twice, so
right, exactly. And I
yeah.
think Carlo would be a lot better off with Elise. And I think I would like, because just that conversation between them, you can
Mhm.
tell that there's something going on between those two. And you can tell that they've already been able to establish something of a relationship type of thing between them. And that's great. If that's what it is and it's genuine, I'm all here for it.
So am I.
I'm just I just don't. We saw in the preview for the next episode that
Mm.
Elise is going to be confronted by Tiffany about her situation with Carlo, and I hope that they can be respectful about it because once again, no one here on this villa is in an actual relationship. There are no commitments that have been made between any of these participants that are here right now, and so your anger should only go so far because no
Mhm.
one's breaking any vows, no one's breaking any relationship rules. No one's breaking girl code or bro code. We're all here to find the same thing. And if I find it in someone who you thought was a potential relationship for you, yes, I understand you might be upset, but if I find it and it's better with me than it is with you, then that's just something you got to come to terms with, and that's nothing that I can do
Mhm.
about because I'm just being me. But anyways, we
Right.
then get to sexy bingo. So they have these
Mhm.
bingo cards and they have red squares on the bingo card, and if they have a red square that is called by the bingo person, and the bingo person is that foreign woman who is there. She's not a coach, she's not
Mhm.
a dating counselor or advisor. She's just there. In my opinion, she's just there for eye candy and maybe ear candy because of her accent. But yeah,
Mhm.
so all of the participants are playing sexy bingo. And the main thing that stood out to me, well, not one of the main things, but one of the things that happened is Jen ended up
Mhm.
licking the ear, I believe, of a girl named Tessa. We
Yeah.
haven't been officially introduced to Tessa, but apparently she's been here the whole time, and I think that was very smart for Jen to do, not to go to Cole or Rob. And
Mhm.
also another thing I wanted to put in here really quickly, Cole did mention that he does feel slighted by the fact that Jen is spending a whole lot more time with Rob, and
Right.
has seemingly forgotten all about Cole. We haven't seen Jen and Cole together for I think maybe going on 2 or 3 episodes now, and so Cole is a little bit down in the dumps. He was talking to Carlo about it before the sexy bingo started, and I'm at least glad that Cole has a friend there to
Mhm.
at least talk to about his disappointment and the fact that Jen has seemed to have lost interest in him. And I do think that that is sad for Cole. However, I don't feel that bad for Cole because of that rumor that he started, or he seemingly started. I don't know if he officially started it, but that rumor that he seemingly started of Elise and Rob having sex together a couple of
Mhm.
episodes ago. So, in my opinion, it sort of kind of in a backwards kind of way serves him right that that's I sort of kind of see that as karma for him. But he does have the right to feel the way that he feels with the fact that Jen seems to be going for only Rob now. So
Right.
that is what it is. We also
Mhm.
saw May kind of giving a sort of a lap dance sort of type of thing with Joe. I thought that was interesting. We saw Rocky twerking. So I'm not
Mhm.
going to get down on him on his twerking skills. Who am I to expect for a Caucasian middle-aged man to be able to twerk and do it well? So I thought it was cute for him to do. Usman was doing the beat for it. I thought it was okay. To be
Mhm.
honest, I was waiting for them to do the close-up on his backside, and they eventually got to it. So I was happy to see that. But anyways, I thought the sexy bingo went
Yeah.
well, and of course, as Tim said,
Mhm.
this is just basic foreplay for all of the participants. But that's the nature of a lot of these dating shows is that they do certain games that can get a little bit personal and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
And so also speaking of Tim. Tim actually went to May or Mai, I think it's MEI. He went to May's villa and asked her out on a date. And she said yes. Now, she did seem to hesitate a little bit initially, but she eventually said yes. So, Dustin, do you see anything happening between May and Tim in the future?
Mm.
Do you think this is going to go well for the both of them?
I'm not going to say now because I don't know how it's going to go. I can hope for the best and pray for the worst. You know, uh, I don't I don't know how it's going to go. This whole entire season has been really unpredictable for me. These I don't know. It seems like it's really unpredictable for me this season so far. So I can't really predict what I see and what I don't see. But I hope that everybody gets happiness out of this show so far.
Yeah, and I don't think you meant to say we pray for the worst. We don't want to pray for the worst. We just gonna hope for the best from here
All
on
right,
out.
so sir, okay, yeah.
It's okay.
My fault. My
I just
fault.
wanted to be sure that our viewers don't think that you're praying for the worst, because we don't want them to think that we're all good people here on JoJo Speaks. But anyways,
Mhm.
I am happy for Tim that he has
Yeah.
seemed to find a match here.
Mhm.
I don't expect to see anything come out of this whole Tim and May thing,
Mhm.
especially this late in the game with them only having 2 weeks left here. I don't think
All
that they'll
right.
be able to find a genuine connection between the two, but at least he is trying. He's been talking to. It seems like he's been the only one talking to the dating coaches,
Mhm.
having one-on-ones with them. Even though we did see Jennifer and Cole have a two-on-one with the dating coach, but Tim is seeming to get the most out of these dating coaches that are here for this retreat. But anyways, let's move on to this double date. This double date
Yeah.
between Chantel and Rocky, as well as Rob and Jen. So Chantel and Rocky, Rob and Jen, they're going on jet skis. They are riding some jet skis, and I've never been one to have the desire to get on a jet ski, but it does
Mm.
look fun. I mean, I guess if I'm with my man or whatever, and he wants to ride it and with me behind him, so be it. We can do that, but. Anyways, and so Chantel and Rocky, after they get on the jet skis, they go to this other place on the property, and Chantel proceeds to pull out this list. She pulls
Right.
out this list and she starts asking Rocky these random questions. And Rocky is like, "Why did you feel the need to pull out this list and start asking me all these random questions?" And the questions were so random. I don't even remember not one of the questions that she asked him, but they weren't questions that one would consider appropriate for a date, at least not to
Right.
me. They weren't questions that were asking him about how he is in relationships, so they were just random questions. And Chantel said, she pulls out this list anytime she feels as though the conversation is not flowing very well. She's feeling awkward. She's looking really awkward during this entire date. So before I get to you, Dustin, I just want to say this right now. Chantel is wasting our time. And Chantel is also wasting her own time, and as well as the time of the other participants who might be interested in dating her, genuinely dating her,
Yes.
because I don't know if she's holding back
Mhm.
purposefully, because she has this whole thing with her friend Ashley back home, or if she really is just this awkward when it
Right.
comes to dating, or if the awkwardness is coming from the fact that she truly is thinking about the possibility of being with her friend Ashley. But for me as a viewer, it's truly frustrating for me to not see her put her all into these dates. And
Yeah.
it being, because Rocky seems like a great guy. Rocky seems like a really fun time guy, but Rocky is really serious about pursuing someone. And
Mhm.
when you are dealing with someone like Chantel, who really isn't here 100%, who really isn't participating 100%, really isn't putting her all into these dates and these activities, then why am I here with you? So
Right.
Dustin, what was your reaction to Chantel pulling out that list and just asking Rocky these random questions, and then Rocky asking her, "Why did you pull out this list?" What were your thoughts watching that?
Well, for one, I don't like Chantel. I don't. I don't. Chantel's not my cup of tea, Jonathan. I hope. I wish she wasn't even on the show because I don't think that she is not going to end up with anybody this season, and she's wasting my time just as much as she is your time. Um, why even be on the show? Because I don't see anything changing for you. Chantel, and I don't think you want it to change. So if you want to
Mm,
continue, you don't want it to change. So why are you on the show? I mean, because you're going to continue to be the way that you are, and I don't even, I don't even want to go there, Jonathan, because I don't. Chantel is not my cup of tea at all.
yeah,
I'm done. I'm
I
done.
Chantel seems like a sweet girl. I'll put that out there. She does seem like a sweet girl. However, if you're not going to put your all into participating in these things that they have set up for you guys, as far as the dates and the activities, just go
Mhm.
home. Please,
Why
just
even
go
be there?
home.
Why
Right,
even be there?
exactly. Why is she there? She clearly is not interested in cultivating any type of relationship with anyone who is here. So she's just
Mhm.
here getting a check. And to be honest, I have no time for that whatsoever. I'm only
Well,
interested in seeing people who are actually going to genuinely try to pursue someone while they were here. So,
to be honest
I,
with you, I'm only watching this show for one reason and one reason only.
and what's that?
Rob. I'm only watching it because of Rob. I want to see Rob back on my TV. That's the only reason I'm watching it.
Oh my gosh. I'd have to say that I don't blame you for that whatsoever, Justin. Any excuse to see Rob's beautiful face on our TV screens is excuse enough for me to watch anything that he's a part of. Speaking of Rob and Jen, they start talking and things of
Yes.
that nature, and their date goes very well. Rob says that he doesn't want to see Jen entertaining anyone else who is here, which I thought that I'm glad that he made that clear that he doesn't want her to be just going around, doing anything with anyone else. And she hasn't been doing anything with anyone else other than Cole. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I like that Rob, set his intentions for Jen, and I appreciated that. And they ended their date with a kiss, and so. I would be shocked if Rob and Jen did not end this whole experience, this whole series,
Mm-hmm.
with choosing one another. Now, we did see in the preview for the rest of the season that someone seems like they're going to propose. Now, I don't expect to see a proposal, but if it does happen, who knows who it might be. But I do like seeing Rob and Jen together. I just hope Jen does not break Rob's heart because
Uh,
I want her to be truthful and honest with her intentions for Rob. Because if you're just here for a good time with me, just let me know that so I don't get my heart and my feelings into it. You see, Lady Virgo in the chat. Hey, Lady Virgo. Um,
good
um,
evening, Lady Virgo.
yeah, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for being here, Lady Virgo. Let me pull up her comment here real quickly and read it out to you guys, the viewers. So Lady Virgo says down here in the comments, "Good evening, you guys. So sorry, I've been having issues with my phone. No issues, Lady Virgo. We're just glad to see you here in the comments with us. So thank you so much for being here, my love. Love seeing you down there, girl.
Yes.
So yeah, so how did you think the date between Jen and Rob went, and where do you see their relationship going from here?"
I see a proposal in the future. I feel it down and deep in there. I think that they're going to be together for the long haul, and I think that they're going to be happy for the long haul. And also, I want to see Rob happy, just like I want to see everybody else happy. But you have to put the work in, and I think Rob has put the work in this whole entire season for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my only issue is I Jen seems to be a drama queen. Now, although that seems to be the girls that Rob seems to gravitate towards, Rob does not like drama.
Right.
So it confuses me that he seems to be more into the drama queens. But at the same time, I feel as though it's the women, it's the attractiveness, because Rob is only going to be with attractive women. And I don't
Right.
blame her for wanting him to do that. However, those
But I also
attractive
don't.
women
I
seem
also
to be
don't.
the most dramatic. Go ahead, Dustin.
I also don't want to see Rob broken heart again because
Exactly.
he went through that with Sophia, and
Hmm.
I don't want to see him have to rebuild his whole entire life over again. Because how many times do you have to rebuild yourself over again? I can't physically, emotionally prepare myself for that. I want Rob to be happy, and whatever that is, go ahead and do it. You know, if you're happy being by yourself, but if you're happy with somebody else, go ahead and do it. I don't want I just don't want to see him hurt again.
My prayer for Jen and Rob is that they just make their intentions known, plain, and clear to one another as far as what do they want to get out of this relationship, if they're going to call it a relationship, because they could just have fun if they want to have fun. If they just want to be cut buddies, friends with benefits, so be it. Let's just do that. But we need to set some parameters for this relationship or this friendship, whatever is going to be, so that no one gets hurt at the end of the day. I just don't want Rob or Jen, for that matter, but I think it will be Rob will be the one to get hurt out of this whole thing. But I just want them both to set their intentions and make it clear to one another, so that no one gets surprised or no one gets shocked or no one gets hurt at the end of the day. Because when you don't set your intentions initially, that leads to some feelings getting hurt later on down the line. And I don't want to see that happen, especially for Rob, but not for Jen either. But if anything, I think Jen would be the one to break Rob's heart. And I definitely don't want to see that happen. Hey, Krista. Thank you, Krista Marie, for joining us. You called us on the tail end, girl. Thank you so much for being here. Love you, girl.
Thank you.
So yeah, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of episodes. We'll see. Who knows?
Any idea how many? Any idea how many episodes we have left, Jonathan?
I do not know. I do not know at all. I'm assuming that we'll probably only have maybe 2 or 3 episodes before the tell-all. But I don't know for sure. Hold on. Let me ask Google. Real quick. How many episodes are scheduled for 90 Day Hunt for Love? Okay, so it says it's 11 episodes, but we're on the 11th episode. So yeah, that can't be right. But anyways, I agree, Jojo. Thank you so much for that, Krista Marie. But yeah, as far as the couples, I'm expecting for Colt and Courtney to come out together, and I'm expecting to see Rob and Jen come out together. There's a possibility that Elise and Carlo may come out at the end of this together as well. But we'll all see when we get to our final episode. So before we get out of here, Dustin, why don't you give us your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contacts are Dustin Butler 700, and my Facebook is Dustin Butler. And of course, I want to thank Jonathan for always being here, and my whole entire team for being behind the backstage. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, Dustin. And my Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. And my Cash App is $JonathanLee07. That's $JonathанLee07. Thank you, Lady Virgo. And thank you, Krista Marie, for joining us in the comments this evening. I'm so glad that you guys decided to join us. You guys are my favorite part of doing these videos, because the interaction really pushes me to keep doing them. So thank you guys so much. Now, excuse me, next week, I more than likely will not be doing any videos. My parents and Jennifer and Tyrone, they're all going on a cruise next week. So more than likely, I will be taking a break. I will more than likely make my official announcement on Thursday. But I'm just saying this now so that you're ready. More than likely, I will not be doing any videos next week, due to my family being on vacation. So don't be on the lookout for any videos next week. However, please be sure to join me on this Thursday at 8 p.m. for my Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. We always have a great time talking about the ins and outs and the goings on in the world on Thursdays at 8 p.m. So be sure to join me at 8 p.m. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye, buddy.
Love y'all.